Yesterday and before yesterday, we talked about simplifying rational expressions, and when we are trying to simplify rational expressions, we're going to start with a very complex, maybe a little bit complex rational expression like this, that you have coefficients, you have exponents, you have lots of terms, and you're going to look at this expression, you're going to say, I don't even know how to start it. It's too complicated. It's too many things, too many different things here. I don't know how to start. Then you need to remember, last chapter, chapter 4, we worked on factoring, techniques to factor out the polynomials. You have to factor out the numerator, you have to factor out the denominator, then you're going to find an expression just like that. Instead of terms, adding terms on the numerator and the denominator, you're going to have factors. You have the multiplication of factors. This is very good, because now we can simplify. After you factor out, you simplify by identifying the common factors that you find in the numerator and in the denominator, and you can cancel out. Check this. X plus 4 is the same as x plus 4 on the denominator, so you can cancel out. After you simplify everything that you can, you're going to have, as a result, a much simpler rational expression. Look at that. This is equivalent to that original expression, is equivalent, but much simpler, much shorter. You don't have a lot of exponents. It's easier to work with. Okay, so this is simplification of rational expression. This is the goal, the objective, is to make life easier. Now, yesterday we specifically worked with a case, a special case, which is simplifying ratios of -1. I have a question now for you. Which option from A, B, or C is going to simplify as -1? If we simplify the ratio, the rational expression, the result is going to be -1. Which one? A, B, or C? I need to find -1 as a result. Tell me on the chat. Send me your answer. Let me ask. So A is going to be r plus 6 over 6 plus r. Is the same thing, is equals r plus 6 over r plus 6, right? You can change the order, it doesn't matter, and this is equals to 1. So it's not A. No, not A. Maybe C. Let's check C. C plus 4. If we try to factor out -1, we will have, let's say, -1 times -c minus 4 over c minus 4. The point is, this is not the same. We cannot factor it out. This is a tricky one, because c plus 4 is a completely different factor. It's not equal, it's not the same, and it's also not the opposite. It's not the opposite. To be the opposite, you need to have -c minus 4. See? That would be the opposite, -c minus 4. In this case, we cannot factor it out. We just keep it like it is. C plus 4 over c minus 4. That's it. Now B, yes. The right option is going to be a letter B. Check this. Because we can factor out -1, we can write -1 times x minus 10 over x minus 10. And cancel x minus 10 with x minus 10, and you have equals -1. The right option, letter B. And there's a tip here, a hint. The factor of -1 may be applied in front of the rational expression, or it may be applied on the numerator or the denominator. The final answer can be written in any of these forms. negative in front of the whole fraction, negative on the numerator, or negative on the denominator. All options are right, are correct. I'm going to tell you to try to use this first option here whenever it's possible. The first option is, it makes things clear, more clear, I think. So use this first option when answering on Microsoft Forms, and when answering the quizzes. I will give preference to this first option, okay? But the other ones are correct as well. And this is a quick review from yesterday. Now we are starting a new topic. Tell me if you have any questions about the review, because now we will move on. And today I'm going to talk about multiplication of rational expressions. Any questions about the review? Can we move to multiplication? We will still need to apply the simplification. We need to simplify. But now we will first, when we're working on multiplication, we will first multiply, and after that we need to apply simplification as well to find the final answer. Okay? So check this out. If we have, let's say, a rational expression, p over q. P is a polynomial, q is another polynomial, and we have another rational expression, r over s. R is a polynomial, s is another polynomial. How can we work out the multiplication of those rational expressions? How can we find the answer for this? We will represent as, draw here a long line, okay? On the top of this line, as the numerator, you're going to use the multiplication of each one of the numerators. So we have p and r, p times r. On the bottom of the line, we will fill out with the multiplication of all the denominators. So q times s. This is how we work multiplication of rational expressions. If you remember, this is going to be pretty much the same process, the same step by step, if we have numbers, if we have fractions, right? So check this out. If we are multiplying 2 over 3 times 5 over 7, we multiply 2 times 5, 10, 3 times 7, 21, and the answer is 10 over 21, right? Same thing here. If we're multiplying 2x times 5z, you have on the numerator 2 times 5, 10, x times z, and on the denominator, if we have denominators 3y and 7, the result is going to be 3 times 7, 21, times y, 21y. That's the same thing we apply for numbers, for fractions, we're going to apply for rational expressions. And there's a step by step. The first step, to make things easier later when you simplify, you first factor out all the numerators, you factor out all the denominators before you think about the multiplication. Factor out and break down into the simplest factors that you can. Then step number 2, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and step number 3, reduce the ratios of common factors. That means simplify. And let's see how it works on an example. Okay, we have this example, the expression 5a minus 5b, 5a minus 5b over 10 times 2 over a squared minus b squared. So what you can do here, you have to do, is you follow this step by step. Just let's factor out whatever we can, every numerator and every denominator we will factor out. So 5a minus 5b, we can factor out 5 and write 5 times a minus b, right? We keep the number 10 as a denominator, and this is multiplied by, we keep the number 2 as the numerator, and a squared minus b squared. Do you remember this formula for that special case? This is the difference of two perfect squares, and we've been using this formula a lot. This is a minus b times a plus b, right? You're gonna use this way of factoring it out. A minus b times a plus b, right? Cool, because now we apply step number 2, multiply all the numerators, multiply all the denominators, and we're going to have as a result, here on the bottom, 5 times a minus b times what? Times 2 over 10 times what? Times a minus b times a plus b. At this point here, can you spot anything that we can excuse me, that we can cancel out, that we can simplify, that you have in common on the numerator and the denominator? Can you spot? Can you see? Any factors that are common to the numerator and the denominator? Well, I think we can simplify. Pretty clear, right? It's pretty clear. A minus b is the same as a minus b. You can simplify. And what about this one? 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 divided. Right? This is the result. If you check, the result 1 over a plus b is equivalent to the original multiplication. You have a long, lots of coefficients, lots of exponents, very complex expression here. You simplify it into a very simple rational expression, 1 over a plus b. Any questions? If you have any specific question, let me know. If you want to check the solution from the book, you can look at the bottom on the slides. You have this slide with the explanation from the book for this example. If you have a specific question, send me now, tell me now. If not, we will move on to the practice round. Any questions at all? No? This is the solution. Now let's work on our quiz to practice, but before, I need you to send me the answer for this bell work. What do you think is the best, the number, the best fit, the slot? The slot that we're talking about is the one with the question mark that the Pac-Man is pointing to. What do you think is the right answer? Send me a message now! So this is going to be how you fill out the slots, and the final answer is going to be 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 is the right answer. Now let's move on to the quiz, to the practice round. Check the first question. Multiply the rational expressions. And we have 8 times w squared over 9 multiplied by 3 over 2w 4. to work out the multiplication is kind of simple, right? You're gonna just put together all the fraction bars here. You're gonna draw a long line with all the numerators on top, all the denominators on the bottom, and you're gonna multiply all the numerators by all the denominators. Multiply all. You're going to multiply all the numerators on top, and you're going to multiply all the denominators on the bottom. And the next step, check the, let's do this step by step, check the coefficients, check the numbers, if you can simplify something. And we have here on top 8 and 2, right? We can simplify 8 divided by 2. We don't need the parentheses here because we don't have so you can simplify 8 by 2 is going to be 4, and you can simplify 3 and 9, we will have 3 here at the bottom. Now let's move to the variables. And where is we have only W as a variable on this multiplication, only W. And which one have the highest exponent? This W here on the denominator. So we keep the variable on the denominator, and the exponent is going to be 4 subtracted by 2. So 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. The answer, 4 over 3W squared. This is the right answer for question letter A. Let me give you a couple of minutes. You can work on the other questions, and I will check real quick attendance just to make sure I'm not unfair. Everybody that's here get to be marked present. And after this couple of minutes, we work together. For letter G, well, the multiplication is kind of simple. You just put together the line, draw a long line here. You're going to multiply all the numerators, and you will multiply all the denominators. But you have to factor out and simplify, right? So let's try to factor out first this. And we definitely can factor out 3, right? Because we have 3 and 18. Can factor out 3. And we have y squared and y. That means we can also factor out y. And inside the parentheses remains y plus 6. The next, y minus 5, there's nothing to factor out. And at the bottom we have y plus 6, nothing to factor out. And this is a famous one and well known. Y squared minus 25 is the same thing as y squared minus 5 squared. Difference of perfect squares that we can write as y minus 5, y minus 5 times y plus 5. Cool? Now check what can we cancel. What are the common factors? And y plus 6 definitely is a common factor, and y minus 5 definitely, yes, a common factor. What remains on the numerator remains 3y, and on the denominator remains y plus 5, which is the answer. Okay. Now let's work the next one, letter H. Let me see if I can just move a bit this. Okay. Letter H. Letter H is going to be interesting because we have, let me show you. Check this out. We will multiply, so draw a long line here and multiply all the numerators, multiply all the denominators. But here on the top there's a special case. The special case that you can factor out is this one here, where w squared minus 2w plus 1. Check this formula here. Let me show. Let me see. A squared minus 2ab plus b squared. This is equals a minus b squared, and we can use this formula here, because we can say a is w and b is 1. So we will factor it out. 5w minus 4 we cannot factor out, but this we can. It's going to be w minus 1 a minus b squared is equivalent to this one. Okay, over w minus 1 times, and here we can factor out something. Let me see, 2 times 5w minus 4. Check what can we cancel now. 5w minus 4 and 5w minus 4, yes, we can cancel. And we have w minus 1 squared and w minus 1 exponent 1. So we keep the 1 on the numerator, this is cancelled, and we subtract 1 from the exponents. The answer here is going to be what's remaining, w minus 1 exponent 1 over, on the bottom, on the denominator, the only thing remaining is 2. Thank you, Chiara. Thank you.